So we've got the cappuccino next,
Yes.
and you've gone with a red though here. I was expecting white.
Yeah, absolutely, and
Yeah.
I think everybody would. And
Yeah.
we've got people who are hypersensitive. They're really sensitive to lots of tastes and flavours, and we would maybe think of things like Pinot Grigio as being their great variety, or possibly Pinot Noir. What we have is Les Sablons. It's a southern French red made with Grenache and a bit of Syrah.
Okay.
So it's still relatively soft and supple, and it's not going to be too bitter. This is $6.99 in Whole Foods, $6.65 from Bibendum, if you're out of London.
A nice sort of quite bright red.
Bright red colour. You know, we forget the south of France makes some amazingly good wines. This is just around Mont Ventoux. You know, this incredible peak that sort of sits out of nowhere. Great cycling country, if like me, you're a cyclist.
I am actually a cyclist.
You're a cyclist. So it's a great place. You should go and visit these guys, Ventoux, and go and do the climb up this terrible desert moonscape at the top. So it's nice, soft fruit. It still has a kind of earthiness, I think, from southern France. But the idea is when you taste... And we're trying it. Actually, I think we're trying it quite nicely. It's a little bit cooler here, which makes it good. Now, cool wines often will bring out the bitterness, but this doesn't have it. You don't have that tannic, raw character. And if you're a hypersensitive taster, that's the thing that you're not going to enjoy.
That you get, but there's plenty of that, just sort of like the color. You get that crunchy, bright fruit, and at that temperature, I think shows really well with that sort of style of wine. That's slightly not quite more cellar temperature, more traditional cellar temperature.
Very much cellar temperature. Bring it out, and in summer drinking, it makes for really wonderful wines. And interesting, I think a lot of these wines that are in the old Aquitaine, which really, you know, you're running from Nice right the way across from the Mediterranean fringe, really around to Barcelona, and they are all made from this combination, roughly, of Syrah and Grenache, really all the way across from
Mourvedre.
And all those places that have the name Mas in the title, rather than Chateau, it's Mas.
Right.
So you've got Miguel Torres, for instance, as a producer in his Mas La Plana, his house. Outside Barcelona, right the way across, and you've got lots of Mas Chevalier and so on who are
Damascus.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's very much one place culturally, right the way across south of France. I think this is great with lots of light grills. It goes amazingly well sometimes, even with things like tuna. You know, often people think you can't match red wine with fish. Well, certainly I think tuna and many salmon dishes go really well with this.
Absolutely. Traditionally, I've had like Pinot with a tuna or a salmon, but this would go fantastically with
and
it.
lots of char-grilled vegetables. And one of my favourites with this is going into having fried halloumi, Greek fried halloumi cheese.
And that salty, the bit of that saltiness in there matches.
And if you are a hypersensitive taster, the chances are you may well like quite a lot of salt sometimes, because it will deaden the bitterness in other flavours. So it all comes together. You know, if you're a hypersensitive taster, this with grilled halloumi and some maybe doing those peppers with some garlic over the top and so on, roasted peppers, you've got a meal made in heaven.
Sounds fantastic.